Bueno, un saludo a toda la comunidad P&M. Hoy me encuentro con una invitación muy especial aquí en Medellín, en Sofasa Renault. Gracias a nuestros amigos de la marca por invitarnos a este espacio tan especial. Les cuento que tenemos la visita de Arnaud Belloni. Él es el VP global de la marca Renault. Y qué bueno que tengamos como este espacio de encuentro para hablar un poquito de negocios, de marketing, de tendencias, de creatividad. Y buenísimo. Entonces, I'm going to switch to English.
Yes.
So, first of all, it's a pleasure for us to have this space to talk about marketing, media, advertising. As I told the audience, we're with Arnaud Belloni, the global VP of the Renault brand.
Yeah, Chief Marketing Officer.
The CMO.
Chief Marketing Officer. That's the word in your magazine.
Okay.
Chief Marketing Officer.
Chief Marketing Officer.
Yeah.
So I think that then when we have this kind of conversations with a CMO of a brand, the starting point of this interview would start with the business model. You know, the business model of the auto industry. It is said like 2 years ago, the revolution that Renault, this endeavor of transforming the auto industry, in the voice of the CEO of Renault. From your marketing perspective, what are the challenges in this business transformation?
Well, I think that's the most interesting question possibly that we can start with.
Okay.
To be honest. I'm going to translate the revolution in my world, which is the marketing world. First, the break-even point. So that was the first obsession, save the company. So we had to put the break-even point lower. So one of my first decisions has been in the last 2 years to cut investment in marketing, which is original for a chief marketing officer. The second thing is, in the same time, there was an obsession to shift from volume to value. And that's super interesting for a marketing director, because the moment you are allowed to create value, then your job becomes interesting. Because very often, your boss is talking to you every morning saying, we need to sell more, we need to sell more, we need to sell more. For the first time ever in my life, my boss came to me saying, Arnaud, we need to sell less, but far better. Wow, that's cool. So it means a lot of things. Potentially giving more space to creativity, giving more space to storytelling, giving more space to technology, giving more space to everything which has an added value for the brand. So that's really cool. So in the same time spending less, and in the other way creating value. So the third obsession was to create value, and so it means making money. Huh?
Okay.
Which is super important, because then you give a future to your company. Then you live long, and then you are able to reinvest in technology, and then it's a positive circle, etc. Well, that's a bit abstract, but this is the translation of the revolution in terms of marketing. Spending less, creating value.
Spending less, creating value. Gastando menos, creando valor. Es una buena mirada de esta revolución en Renault. This started like in 2021, beginning 2021, the revolution, announcement to all the business. I mean, for the auto industry.
Was announced early 21. Yes, I came in the company in November 20. So one of the first things that we did something radical. We centralized all the creativity in Paris. It was, for your information, before my arrival in the company, the company was producing around 80 global campaigns per year, 80 for the world, but not in Paris, everywhere in the world. Sometimes for one car, you had 6 movies around the world, just to give you an example. Now, for one car, we've got 1 movie or sometimes 2 movies, but it's reused by the entire planet. So, an enormous productivity effort. So when I do a movie, for example, for the launch of a car, I spend far more in the idea, in the craft, direction, director of photography, music, location. Why can I spend more? Because I'm going to use it everywhere in the world, and not 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times during not 6 months, but 2 years.
Okay.
So this business model for creativity works perfectly.
It drives my attention that becoming a technology company, which is the purpose of this revolution. What are the major concerns as you as a CMO, standing in the table working at a company producer company towards a technology company? What are those challenges? I mean, there's a new mindset towards thinking.
First, you need to understand what you mean by technology. First, in our industry, what is the technology? First, electric technology. So that's the first technology, electric technology. That's why we created a global umbrella name for that technology called E-Tech, electric technology, E-Tech. So that technology is credible. That's part of the storytelling. Because Renault is a pure player of electric. Renault thought electric would have a future far before the competition, even before Tesla. 10 years ago, Renault was launching Zoe, and 13 years ago, Renault was preparing Zoe. So it's a long time ago, and so we are understood by a lot of person around the planet as a pure player of the industry. So the first pillar of the technology is, of course, the electric powertrain. The second pillar is the connectivity inside the car. We made a radical choice far before the competition. So we took Google automotive system, GAS, which gives us immediately Google Maps, Google Voice, and the store. Which means that when you drive the new Renault Megane E-Tech 100% electric, you've got the open air link system, which is a huge dashboard, which is a digital dashboard in which you can put your fingers and zoom in on the Google Maps, and the reactivity of the screen is better than an iPad. And you can do a lot of things. So it's unbelievable. It changed completely the approach. And it goes so far in terms of technology that we are working now on media on board, which was a dream 3 years ago. Now we do that. So we work with people like you. They are magazine owners, publishers, and we insert their magazines inside the system as an app. And we work on the vocal ecosystem, because the future of media on board is vocal. Because people are driving, so they listen to podcasts, they listen to stories. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So that's tech. We are working on a lot of things that are very technological, but we try to do it in a super sexy way. That's original. Because the technology is cool the moment you understand it. If you don't understand it, you are afraid. If you are afraid, you don't give value to that. So that's the thing. The techno is a fantastic thing because people respect technology. The common point in the planet with technology is that good technology is respected.
You have told us just 2 interesting facts.
Only 2?
No, I mean a lot of facts. But just to come again, first of all, your approach as a CMO working on storytelling, creativity. That's very interesting because there's like this common issue among marketers, which is brand equity and performance. So are you in the side, which side do you pick?
I've chosen creativity. Because, you know, when I came to Renault, I discovered that the ecosystem was fantastic performant, but there was no creativity. So I'll give you an example. It's like if you take, where is it? There was a, how do you call that? Un ventilateur.
The fan.
A fan.
Okay, a fan.
The fan is the performance, you know, it's the technology. But if you put in front of the fan shit, you fan shit. If you, sorry, it's vulgar. Huh? It's rude. It's rude. But if you put, I don't know, a super strong perfume, beautiful perfume, super creative there, you fan this. So if you don't have the creativity, nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about you. So the creativity, it's a weapon which is fantastic. And why do you love Apple? Why do you love Apple?
I mean,
you love Apple because you didn't love Apple before it was existing, so you love because it exists. Why you love it? You love it because products are genuine, super well designed, fantastically crafted, super well packaged in a packaging that is wonderful. You buy that on a retail place that is like a museum or like an experiential way, an Apple store. And then you have no discount, zero discount. You respect it. The advertising, they are piece of art. So you see, and what I'm describing is creativity, because for the Apple store you need an architect. For the iPhone in itself, you need Johnny Ive. You need a designer. For the packaging, you need a designer. The website is easy to read, ergonomic, no mistake, capitals, letters, space between, all is piece of art. I mean, for a guy like me, crazy about creativity, Apple is a reference. And that deserves respect, in fact. That deserves respect. So, creativity is key. You need good product, of course, but creativity is key. If you have creativity, it's easy to find the tech to get the performance. Then even, I can tell you something, which is potentially a provocation, but if you are just super creative and your product is great, you don't need the famous performance tool because it's a success immediately. When I was working in Fiat and we launched collectively with all the teams, Luca did it, the Fiat 500. I'm going to tell you a story. We spent zero in marketing because we made a show for the reveal. We had a waiting list to buy the car, and the waiting list was 1.5 years. So I would say that the most radical version of the marketing efficiency is only pure creativity. You don't even need to spend anything behind. You see what I mean?
Yes, totally.
It looks crazy, but it exists.
Let's talk about a little bit of Latin America and Colombia. You know, for Colombians, you know, Air 4, Renault 4 is part of an iconic brand with a lot of history and a legacy brand. When you have like the global picture, what does Latin America mean for the brand, for Renault?
Working, I'm going to give you a scoop because you deserve it, because you're a nice guy.
Thank you so much.
We are preparing with the team here a brand campaign for next year. That's it. Specially made for Colombia, only in Colombia, talking only to Colombians.
So we have a primicia.
And it will be about, and it's all about creativity, by the way. It's a creative thing. We saw it, we approved it 2 hours ago in the meeting room just there. And it, you know, I am Italian and French, and I have worked in China, made my studies in London, traveled everywhere in the planet. But I saw the campaign, and I said, that's a cool one. And I'm not Colombian, but this is where I love. This is why I love my job. You know, creativity has no flag. Creativity has no flag. If the idea is good, it's good everywhere. So when people are talking to me and come, you know, here it's different, we need to do this and this, I say, no way. Creativity is global. There is only the activation which is local. And this is what we do. The idea is global and the creativity is local. But this is super cool. I'm very happy to make that happen. It's the first time that we do a long time ago.
Looking forward to get to know the campaign.
Yeah.
Ivan.
Very coming soon.
Okay, thank you so much. You just told me about your focus on creativity, working with publicists in France, and when you have a global creative review of the brand, when you have these reviews of the brand, what are your top 5 or your favorites from the Renault campaigns?
So there was a great campaign in the 80s made by Renault in Europe, which was Les voitures à vivre. Les voitures à vivre, which was the positioning of Renault. Mm-hmm. So now the campaign that I love the most that I've done in the last 2 years is the one of the Megane E-Tech 100% electric that is going to be on air in Colombia second half of next year.
That's the one with the horses?
Yes.
Yes.
The one of the horses that I shot
yes.
in Argentina. And you know, that's my definition of creativity. There is only one, you can see the brief behind. The brief is clear. We switch from horsepower to electric power. Mm-hmm. So, horsepower to electric power. Horses and cars, and that's it. And you put a crazy music to give you goosebumps. Yes. And we compose the music by ourselves. It's less expensive. So, that's the one I love. But to be honest, there are new ones that you don't know that I love very much.
Okay.
That are coming. More particularly one about e-tech technology. But in fact, I love everything because they are all my babies and I am not really able to choose.
The last one.
Yeah.
As a marketer professional and CMO with several years of experience working in the auto industry, how to build strong brands that brings business results and meet consumers' expectations?
It takes time. You need to be very sharp in the execution. First, you need to understand where you go. You need to understand what are your strengths. You need to focus on your strengths. You need to never compromise your brand. You need to storytell in a perfect way, and you need to execute with a very high level of focus. And of course, you need great products. But that's always the same recipe. It takes 1 year to kill a brand. It takes 5 to 10 years to rebuild the brand, if you do no mistake. So it's all about doing no mistake and be very, very sharp. And never self-satisfied. The moment you are self-satisfied, you're dead. You make mistakes. So you need to be always on the edge. You need a bit of tension, positive tension, but you need a bit of tension. And I'm not, sometimes people are asking me, do you look at what competition is doing? I'm going to surprise you, never. Never, because if I do so, I am so impressed that I lose trust. So I prefer to be a super creator and being copied rather than copy the other. You see what I mean?
Arnaud, thank you so much for your time. It's a
You're
pleasure
welcome.
to have
Thank you,
this space with P&M, and looking forward to
thank
meet
you,
again.
P&M, and see you very soon.
Okay, muchas gracias a toda la comunidad, los amigos de Renault, mil gracias por el espacio. Y un saludo y seguimos conectados con P&M. Muchas gracias, Arnaud. Thank you so much. Mucho gusto.